His Excellency, the High Commissioner of India to Fiji, Mr. P.S. Karthikeyan, the UN Resident Coordinator, my friend Dirk Wegener, members of the School Management Committee, officials of the Fiji Sugarcane Growers Council, friends, ladies and gentlemen, Bula Binaka, Namaste, and Assalamu Alaikum. When I was asked to be present here for this important occasion, and I was told that it was going to be in Tavua, I quickly said yes, because I always enjoyed the company of the good people of Tavua. Tavua is always a very important place historically, and I didn't want to miss this occasion. The government is very pleased to support this very important initiative and support the partnership between UN and India. And let me begin by saying that both India and the UN are extremely important partners to Fiji. And as a new government, we not only want to deepen and strengthen our engagement, but we also believe that strengthening this engagement is going to be more meaningful and more impactful than what we probably saw in the past. When it comes to our relationship with India, it's historical, it's important, and given India's preeminent global leadership, India's role in enhancing the South-South cooperation, we as a coalition government, we have made it our resolve to deepen our engagement with India. And let me say this also, that since we've come into government, our heightened engagement with India has taken off. We've had some very important visits, the Indian Foreign Minister and other high-level dignitaries, culminating in our Prime Minister going to Papua New Guinea and conferring Fiji's highest award to the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi. And on that occasion, the Indian Prime Minister announced a number of packages, projects for the whole of the Pacific, including the building of a 100-bed super specialty hospital in Fiji, and the work on that hospital is progressing very well. And I want to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency for his role in this relationship that is now at a different level than what it used to be before. I understand that this partnership between India and the UN Development Partnership Fund, the UN Capital Development Fund, and the UN Office for South-South Cooperation is in the second year. For me, this is a deep commitment to Fiji, and this project also means that it will give us an invaluable experience to scale the project and meet its targets. In the first year of the program, what we call the pilot phase, 14,000 individuals through 2,147 household policies were covered, out of which 47% were women. Additionally, with the recent cyclone that ravaged some parts of Fiji earlier this year, 1,013 households received the eligible payouts. More than $200,000 in insurance payouts were disbursed via mobile money wallets and bank accounts. The quick and efficient availability of funds provided a safety net for the recipients to essentially kickstart. When you have a disaster, you need a quick response and quick support, and this insurance payout did exactly that. And again, nearly half of the recipients were women, and over 200 persons with disabilities, also showing the inclusivity of the outreach and the coverage, and the potential for parametric insurance to build resilience from the bottom up. This initiative, which I am told is an expansion of the existing parametric microinsurance product, will ambitiously cover 5,000 households, roughly 25,000 individuals for the next cyclone season, increasing the coverage more than double from year one. And as His Excellency pointed out, and the resident coordinator pointed out, in this part of the world, we hope and pray for 6 months that we don't get hit by a devastating cyclone or a flood and other impact of extreme weather patterns. Climate vulnerability is out there, and those covered include our climate vulnerable smallholder farmers, fishermen, market vendors, small businesses, who struggle a lot when disasters like this hit them and take away their income potential and destroy their livelihood. The government has also set a target to include a minimum of 2,000 social welfare recipients under the scheme to broaden the safety net and build resilience across the country. And again, we do not want anyone to be left behind, part of the UN Sustainable Development Goal and the government's plans for it. When we talk about social welfare, most of you would remember, contrary to all the rumors before the election and even after the election, that the new government was going to take away the social welfare, we actually increased the social welfare amounts by $15 and by $25. To further ease the burden, the government has retained the policy of keeping the premiums on all climate and disaster risk parametric insurance products VAT-free to provide financial relief to these households and increase access to the product. And Fiji, as I said, like many other nations, including those in the Pacific, faces the extreme challenges of climate change, economic volatility, and the need for and protect the most vulnerable in our society. And we, as part of our government's resolve, we take this very seriously. We want to make sure that our vulnerable are protected all the time. In addition to this insurance, cover. The government of Fiji, I was in Morocco recently, and we signed an agreement. And as part of that, the government is also buying a parametric insurance cover for tropical cyclone and excess rainfall from Pacific Catastrophic Risk Insurance Company. We have allocated $2.5 million in the current budget for this initiative, which means that if during cyclone or extreme rainfall, there is flood, there is funding needed to assist our people immediately, this is another strategy that we have, another expenditure that we have put in of about 2.5 million to ensure that the government has the money to immediately, provide help for our people. I want to take this opportunity to thank the generous support of the India-UN Development Partnership Fund and the UN Office of South-South Cooperation and the expertise of UNCDF to take this particular project forward and help further build resilience in our most climate vulnerable communities. We also recognize that in times of crisis, whenever you get hit by a cyclone, a devastating flood, the impact of that invariably, or most of the time, falls disproportionately on women and people with disabilities. And this project, and I'm very pleased to say, is focusing on the inclusion, aiming not only to protect their livelihoods, but also to promote gender equality and social inclusion. In fact, it goes beyond the fact that it is about providing financial assistance. It is about giving people hope. It is about giving people dignity and a brighter future to thousands of Fijians. It is also about empowering them to build better lives for themselves and their families, no matter what challenges they face. Because we, as a government, as our partners, we want to ensure that this support is always available. As I said, we are grateful to India and the UN and India's support and partnership with the UN to create this innovative project. And obviously, India has a lot of experience in looking after vulnerable communities and addressing the impact of climate change on its people. And we as a government, we would like to learn, partner, and use those innovations, not only in this area, but in many other areas where India is leading the game in today's world. And as I said at the beginning, our government is determined to strengthen and deepen our relationship with all our partners, but more specifically in some of these areas with India. Let me also, as part of the government's strategy, lay out a few other things that we have provided. I know in the midst of negativity, in the midst of social media bliss, the government is unfazed in terms of helping our people. When we came into government, we immediately made sure that we allocated enough funding, and I know there are many parents here, school teachers. We allocated $50 million to ensure that we provide $200 each to every student from a family of household income of less than 50,000 for parents and students to prepare for the school year at the beginning of this year. And we provided $200 each to more than 214,000 students from preschool right up to Form 7, which helped families and parents and students to buy the basic necessities before the school opened. I'm pleased to inform you that we have allocated again funding to provide $200 each to every student from preschool to Form 7 from families which have income less than 50,000. So $200 each before the school opens next year. In fact, the program will be, the applications will open very soon. We will be announcing that soon. And parents would be eligible, students would be eligible to apply for that. As I also said, that in the last budget, we increased the social welfare payments by $15 and $25. We provided additional funding to all recipients within the social welfare categories, whether it's family assistance, whether it's child allowance, all these were increased in the budget. Additionally, we have made sure that we have provided additional funding, the biggest funding to our health, to our social welfare, to agriculture, to make sure that we provide additional funding to ensure that our key sectors of the economy and society benefit from them. In education, we wrote off $653 million debt burden on all the families, because we knew that that burden was affecting the entire families, especially those from the low income. And we have replaced the TELS loans scheme with a very, very good scholarship program where only requirement is that students will be bonded to save the country after they have finished their degree or diploma. So these are some of the initiatives that we have also included in the budget. The most recent announcement by the government is that we have topped up the final payment for the sugarcane farmers. We have put in an additional $8.2 million to take the final payment from $1 something to $6.12, and now the final price, the highest ever in the history of the sugarcane industry in the country, to $91.38. Because we believe that our farmers, our sugarcane farmers, need the support now. The government is determined to rescue the industry, and we believe that this increase in price will motivate our farmers to do better, to expand their production. I'm already told, I'm getting calls from farmers to say that we are going to increase our production. We're going to plant more sugarcane. So, and at the same time, it is going to help our families and everyone to build their support through that additional income. So once again, I am very pleased to be here with the people of Tavua. I know that you represent a good cross-section of Tavua community, and I want to thank you and say Dhanyawad and Big Vinakavakalevu for turning up. Finally, my thanks again to His Excellency, the High Commissioner to India, P.S. Karthikeyan. He's a very versatile man, working very hard. And we look forward to, as I said earlier, raising our cooperation and engagement to new levels. My friend Dek Wagner, बहुत अच्छा हिंदी बोलता है Dek. He speaks very good Hindi. And thank you very much for your support and your work. You've been here for a short while, but you've got the rope very quickly. I want to also thank the officials from the Sugarcane Growers Council, principal of the Balata College, management. I had the pleasure of talking to them. My friend Rajan Raglu, and all of you for coming this morning and being part of this. Nava Levu, thank you, Dhanyawad, Shukriya.
Professor Biman Prasad, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Finance, Strategic Planning and National Development and Statistics. My good friend, His Excellency Mr. Sri P.S. Karthikeyan, Indian High Commissioner of India. Distinguished guests, I think we have members of the press also here, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank you for this very warm welcome and like to wish you all Bula Vinaka, Namaste, good morning and Salam Alaikum. On behalf of the United Nations in the Pacific, I warmly welcome you all because we are here today to celebrate the strides we have made towards strengthening Fiji's resilience against the growing threats of climate change and natural disasters. Both of these threats present particular challenges to Fiji. In doing so, we launch today the commitment to scaling climate and disaster risk finance framework and parametric insurance initiative in the country. It is through your support, partnership and collaboration that this UN Capital Development Project funded project has come this far. Allow me to thank also firstly the government of Fiji for its steadfast support, exemplified by their continued policy to allow a VAT exemption on premiums of all climate and disaster risk parametric insurance products, and in their commitment to extend the benefits of this crucial initiative to their social welfare recipients. Your dedication ensures that the most vulnerable members of the country are not only protected but also empowered. It demonstrates a real commitment to the well-being of every Fijian citizen. Thank you for your unwavering partnership in creating a safer and more resilient future for Fijians. I must also thank the government of India for their commitment and investment in long-term improvement of the lives of the Fijian people through substantial funding support under the India UN Development Partnership Fund and the UN Office for South-South Cooperation. India's contribution has made the successes and expansion of this project possible. To the government of India, Dhanyawad, for your additional investment in this 18-month scaling project, which will empower the most vulnerable Fijians in the face of the most pressing issue in the region, climate change, and increasingly frequent and severe natural disasters. To provide you with some context, this initiative is not a solitary endeavor. It is a continuation of an initial project, the Climate Disaster Risk Financing Framework and Parametric Insurance Project, which began back in 2020. Drawing on the valuable lessons learned and building on the early successes, now this project is being continued. Led by the UNCDF and implemented jointly with the Fijian government, the pilot project laid the foundation for what we are celebrating today. Through innovative financing options, public and private stakeholder engagement, and digital linkages, the pilot phase equipped thousands of Fijians with tailored climate disaster risk financing instruments, including the first parametric microinsurance product that exists in the entire Pacific region. These instruments, especially benefiting low to moderate income households, medium and small enterprises, farmers, women, youth, and persons with disabilities, have been vital in building financial resilience and aiding recovery from extreme climate shocks. The numbers speak volumes. 14,000 individuals and 2,000 social welfare recipient households covered under the parametric microinsurance scheme. And out of those covered, over 1,000 beneficiaries received a payout following a spell of excess rainfall for December 2022 to February 2023. And nearly half of those beneficiaries were actually women and over 200 persons with disabilities. This inclusivity underscores our commitment to leaving no one behind, even in the face of adversity. I'm delighted that with additional support from the Government of India, we can build on those initial successes and aim to improve the parametric microinsurance product and scale the solution to reach a larger section of vulnerable segments in Fiji. The scale-up of this project couldn't be timelier. The National Institute of Weather and Atmospheric Research of New Zealand recently forecasted that 9 to 14 cyclones are to be expected in the Pacific region this cyclone season, and Fiji is expected to see 4 to 5 of them. Our brothers and sisters in Vanuatu were just hit by a category 4 to 5 cyclone, and we wish them all the best, but that was already a sign of what is to come, because that was actually an out-of-season cyclone. Not only are those cyclones more frequent, but they are expected to be stronger and the impacts are expected to be more severe. This underscores the need for such financial products and to exist in the Fiji market. Through the pilot phase of the project, we have developed financial tools that are now accessible in the market to protect Fijians against such adversities during this cyclone season and beyond. The project's expansion phase, with UNCDF's expertise and the focus on South-South cooperation, will allow us to tap into the wealth and knowledge and expertise in digital finance, market ecosystem development, parametric insurance product development, and de-risking instruments. This partnership will enable us to introduce improved solutions that are more relevant, accessible, and sustainable for more vulnerable segments in the Fiji society. The project is not merely about mitigating financial losses, but it is most importantly about preserving livelihoods, ensuring children can stay in school, and safeguarding the well-being of our communities. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations emphasizes the need for a Pacific region whose people and communities are more resilient to the impacts of climate change, climate variability, and disasters. This is a strategic priority for all of us, and we are firm and resolute in our commitment to making this a reality. Accordingly, UNCDF's work in this project to scaling the developing, accessible, affordable, and practical climate insurance solution underlines this objective. Once again, let me acknowledge and applaud all stakeholders involved, the Fijian government, in particular the Ministry of Finance, the Reserve Bank of Fiji for their partnership and support to enable a conducive environment for such financial innovations to be introduced, the Government of India for their ongoing generous financing support of this initiative, and we will count on your support as we continue to implement this initiative in Fiji. I also extend my thanks to Sun Insurance, Fiji Care, and Tower Insurance for being private sector allies in our work towards achieving the SDGs. Lastly, Digicel and Vodafone for allowing us to leverage of their mobile money digital solutions to make those crucial payouts, which is another innovation. Vinaka Vakalevu and Dhanyavad, thank you very much.
His Excellency, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance Strategic Planning, National Development and Statistics, Professor Biman Prasad, my dear friend, the UN Resident Coordinator for Fiji, Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, Tonga and Tuvalu, Mr. Dirk Wagner, friends from the media, community members from Tavua, management and staff members of the Balata College, ladies and gentlemen, Nisabula Vinaka, Namaskar, Namaskaram, Sat Sri Akal, Salam Alaikum, and a very good morning to all of you. It is indeed a matter of great delight and honor for me as the High Commissioner of India to stand before you and join you on this historic occasion where we have assembled to announce the scaling up of this innovative project for climate disaster risk financing framework and parametric insurance in Fiji. Today is indeed a historic occasion for multiple accounts. As you all know, India has been a steadfast and a leading voice in the globe for South-South cooperation, as you would have seen from the recent historic New Delhi summit of the G20 leaders and the New Delhi declaration that emanated from that summit. A very strong focus and a spotlight on the perspectives, the concerns, the interests of the Global South was put on the Global South during India's historic leadership. It concluded with historic initiatives and outcomes, including a Green Development Pact, an action plan on sustainable development goal, and an inclusive, G20 with the African Union, one of the largest continents with large number of developing countries being made a part of this high table. This G20 summit, you must also be knowing, has given shape and vision and actioned our age-old idiom of looking at the world as one family. Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, as some of you would know, looks at the entire world as one family. That was translated into the theme for the G20 as well as one world, one family, and one future. What we are doing today in this beautiful part of the world in preparing the community, the most vulnerable section of the community in Fiji, which is unfortunately on the front of climate change, is to build resilience, to give hope, to give confidence to the community here in their fight against climate change. It is not just an occasion to announce an insurance package. It is a statement of faith. It is a statement of faith from the Government of India, from the UN system, from your friends across the world in the resilience, in the ability of the community of Fiji to stand up and prosper amidst all the challenge that nature throws at you. The India-Fiji Development Partnership, as you all know, has a very strong people focus. Our relationship, a special and enduring bond that goes back to 1879, it has developed into a modern and multifaceted relationship in the last 52 years since we became masters of our own destiny, and today covers all major segments of national building, which includes agricultural development, SME sector, manufacturing, climate resilience, and so on and so forth. Today's initiative about the climate disaster risk financing framework and parametric microinsurance addresses some of these key components, including climate resilience and agricultural development. A number of projects we have been doing through a bilateral mode, but whenever there is an opportunity where there is a complementarity involved, we are also very happy to join hands with our friends, including the UN agencies. And in this regard, I should acknowledge and convey my sincere appreciation to the friends from the UNDP, the UN Office of the South-South Cooperation, and the UN Capital Development Fund in Fiji for taking forward this project in a more effective manner. I vividly recall, soon after my taking charge in SUA in July 2021, one of the first projects that I had the honor of joining was the launch of this pilot project. And I'm happy to say that this is not just recognized today as one of the most innovative solutions in the face of climate change, but also seen as one of the most successful. And that is why we see today the decision and the announcement to scale it up to more than 5,000 households in Fiji, including the most vulnerable section, and including 200 micro, small, medium enterprises in Fiji. We would like to continue this and expand this going forward. And India UN Development Partnership Fund is a perfect platform to take forward this. As some of you would know, this initiative, the India UN Fund, completely funded by the Government of India, was launched in year 2017 as part of our ambitious agenda to foster a shared prosperity in the global south in partnership with the multilateral partners. This project, as always done under the UN Partnership Fund, has a Southern-led, Southern-owned sustainable development partnership model as its core. And we are happy at the High Commission of India to further complement this with our own bilateral mode of partnership. Just a few days back, talking about our cooperation in agriculture, I was also honored to hand over to the Ministry of Agriculture of Fiji 2 mobile soil testing laboratories as a gift from the Government of India to help in giving modern and advanced technical service to the farming community in Fiji. We are also happy to see that the Fiji Sugarcane Growers Council is present here. I'm happy to share that there is currently a proposal in very advanced stage to sponsor a visit of model farmers from Fiji to India for a study tour which will expose them to the best in the sugarcane industry. We are hopeful that it will lead to solid, tangible progress in the coming months. I'm also happy to share that we already have 2 eminent agricultural experts deployed by the Government of India with the Ministry of Sugarcane here in Fiji, working for promoting the industry, sugarcane industry here. So there are a number of initiatives that have been ongoing, but I would not like to bore you with those details. But you can rest assured about the steadfast commitment of the Government of India and the High Commission of India here in Suva under my leadership to further strengthen our engagement with the stakeholders, whether it is with the Government of Fiji, whether it is with the UN multilateral agencies, or with the communities, organizations like the Fiji Sugarcane Growers Council or the Fiji Sugar Corporation, to further strengthen our engagement and unlock the potential that is waiting in the farming sector. I would like to conclude here. Before that, I'd like to appreciate and convey my heartiest greetings to all of you on this occasion. I'd like to convey my greetings to the Ministry of Finance, National Planning and Strategic Development, to the UN agencies, particularly the UN Capital Development Fund, and most of all to all of you, important stakeholders in this journey. I wish you all, on behalf of the Government of India, good luck, good success, peace and prosperity, and God bless Fiji. Thank you. Vinakaw Kalevu and Dhanyavad.
Bulasiya. Namaste. Sat Sri Akal and Assalamu Alaikum. Of course, it is an honor to be here this morning to speak on the very important product that we had piloted from the last 2 years. And of course, the Sugarcane Growers Council is a very important partner in that piloting process. Of course, when we started this pilot about 2 years ago, with the support of UN, UNCDF, the donor agencies, it was a task in itself. That how do we expand on this product? How do we educate, make awareness on this product to our societies? But after 2 years of piloting, we are pleased to say that Sun Insurance, being the local insurer, has taken on board to fully commit to this parametric insurance, and we are now one of the main and the solo underwriters for our aggregators partners, including the Fiji sugar industry and other industry partners such as the Livestock Council, millers, coconut millers and others. But as I said, one of the important partners, of course, is the Fiji, the Sugar Council itself. In doing this, I must acknowledge the hard work of the UNCDF team, of course, Christian and his team, who have worked behind the scenes to ensure that this product takes to fertility and be here for a long term. Parametric insurance is an insurance that does not have to have a loss. It's an index-based cover. That means if there is a cyclone or rainfall in case of this product, and it meets certain thresholds, a payout is happening. And of course, the DPM has alluded that earlier this year, although almost 1,000 individuals or policy holders were awarded in excess of $200,000 payouts, and this was done within 48 hours. And thanks to our communication partners, Vodafone and DGCL as well, that allowed us to disperse this funding within that 24 to 48 hours and so forth. And of course, with the current product that is being launched today, has been launched earlier as well, we have upscaled the product to have two options. Of course, a $1,000 option and a $2,000 option. When we piloted this was up to $1,000 only. So the choice is for you all farmers, market vendors, fishermen, and all the aggregate partners to take this back to their members in ensuring that they're well aware before they make a choice on the covers that you want. As being a local company and being locals, we also have launched or got an approval to launch our limited perils cover, which is designed for our farmers, villagers, low-income earners, and we'll have more on that as time progresses. And I believe that would be the first in the Pacific as far as a limited perils cover is concerned. We also about 4 weeks ago, I believe 3 or 4 weeks ago, launched, I'm being told as the first in the world, the anticipatory insurance cover. And 3 of the aggregated partners have volunteered or are being piloted with this project through this year before we make a decision if we will take this on board going forward or not. And anticipatory cover is basically before the event happens. We are anticipating it to happen, and a payout is made to these aggregators who can use that funding to allow its members to associate or to use those fundings to maybe clear the drains, cut the overhanging trees, or to protect yourself for the disaster that is about to happen. And that is also in the market right now. Finally, before I conclude, I would wish to also say that at Sun Insurance, we have had this product for a long time, but I think there's not too much awareness in the communities that we had launched a limited cyclone cover as well. And this has been the market pre-COVID rather. And we launched this about 2018, 2019. And it's taking traction now, and we are the first in Fiji to do that. At this junction, once again, I want to thank the UNCDF team, our aggregated partners that have stood by with us for the last 2 years, and this is the 3rd year, of course, as I mentioned. The Sugarcane Growers Council, the farmers who have supported us in ensuring that this product gets to the level it is today, and it can continue to be a sustainable product in the future. To conclude, once again, thank you DPM, thank you Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, for being here, and I wish you a very good day, and as we say, Binakasan, and God bless Fiji.